Right, when you're ready.
Okay.
Yep.
I'm ready.
Yep.
Hello everyone. My name is Juliet Galiwango. By God's grace, I'm the National Director of New Hope International in Uganda. God has done wonderful things in Uganda, especially through the ETLX training, effective teaching and learning series. Through our training team, we've reached out to schools, several schools, and we've done this training with the teachers. It's life-changing, it's transforming. There's so many testimonies that come through, that teachers are changing the way they teach, the students, the children are benefiting from this training. It's really doing a lot. And this time around, David and Deborah and Bethany came down to take us through the ABCD training, asset-based community development. That's another good training. And from this training, our thinking is changing. We've seen lots of things come into Uganda. Many organizations have brought money into Uganda. Lots of countries and Western countries have brought in a lot of aid in Uganda. But what has happened in Uganda? There's not really so much progress. Why? Because when the aid comes, it settles into the pockets of a few, then it's misused, then it's abused, then the poverty cycle continues. Now with this training, the asset-based community development training, it's all about looking at what we have as a community, the assets we have, the blessings we have in the community, the people we have, what we can do ourselves to empower the people. It's so empowering, and it has really opened our eyes. It's a very big eye-opener. So right now we are really changing our thinking. And everybody who came to the training said, wow, this is a blessing. This is what we need for Uganda. We need to think differently. We need our mind to be opened to see the opportunities we have and how we can use them to make our lives better. So as New Hope, as we start, we thought twice and we said, really our focus should come down to training. Once you train someone, you equip them. When you give someone a fish, yes, you give them a meal for the day. When you teach them to fish, they can fish and then get what to eat. But when you give them a skill, you empower them for a lifetime. So they can use the skills they do to benefit themselves and to pass it on. Because training is really has a multiplication effect. You train one person, they train another. You take training to a school, the teachers train other teachers. They help the children to get along. So it has a big multiplication effect. So we want to zero on training. And so as such, we are looking at any support that we receive from Western countries should really be geared towards training. Once a skill comes in, then it can benefit many other people. There's one lady who came with a skill of baking. We taught a group of women to bake, and 3 women now have come out with big businesses. They are buying more equipment, they are boosting their families and training other people. So training is very powerful. And so we're asking our friends in Australia, those who feel passionate about New Hope International, we are saying we really need training. You train Ugandans, it will help us develop into better people using our resources so that we can make our lives better and be able to provide all our needs ourselves. So that's what we are saying. We are very keen on that, and this is the sense of direction that God is showing us. And right now we are looking at, in future, getting a training center. That is a long-term program, a long-term project. But in future we are saying if we have resources probably to acquire land and in bits and pieces, gradually we'll do farming first, involve the community, then later on we'll start a project by project, and then we'll get a training center. So that will be a one-stop place for everyone to come on board and train, even our friends in the West who want to train, who have different skills, like carpentry, like baking, like business skills, many skills. They can come to that place and then train the community. Then the people who are trained there will be trainers of trainers, and then we'll go out and train communities to change Uganda. So we are really focusing on the training of trainers model, especially in community development, so that these skills can go down to the grassroots, and then we change our thinking, we change our environment. There are people who have farming skills. Tom is one of them. He does training in farming God's way, helping people to change their view of how they do farming. And so through this training, the people are really gaining better skills, changing the way they farm, and then getting big yields from farming. So really we need training. And we are very grateful for anyone who supports training. And as we look into this training center later on in future, we see this as it will be a great blessing in our country, especially to change the way people think and the way people do things. So that aid is good, but then it can become toxic. if it's not channeled to in the right channels. But channel it into training and changing the mindset of people. Then you have the people on board, you involve them, they change the way they see things, and then they can make their lives better. This is the hope of Uganda. And I think it's what really God wants for us as Ugandans, to use the abundance He has given us, but then it will take training to just break the ice and change the way people think and view things. So we thank you so much for all your support over the years, but as we think ahead, we pray that any other support, if it's to be there, it will be geared towards training and equipping people for eternity and for survival in Uganda. God bless you so much.